Welcome again to another episode of Blam Truckers. I am your smooth-talking host, Buse. Over there, we also have...
You're not so smooth-talking host, Bees!
We're just a couple of friends from college that decided that, in our age, we decided to do a podcast together. Right now, we don't have a lot of viewers, but we're happy that you are one of the few. The proud. The truckers. And
Blam truckers. I feel like I should do some dulcet tones. Oop. I'm trying to look at him, which is throwing me off because I've got a new camera, which Buse got for me. Thank you, Buse. And it's 4K, so I'm in the best view you've ever seen of me. And frankly, I should have shaved. I didn't know the camera was going to be this good. But I can also do those smooth, dulcet tones. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to another episode of Blam Truckers out here in the trucker universe where we just like to keep things blamming.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah. So today's topic, go ahead.
If you know, you know.
Oh, yeah. Today's topic, so we're trying a brand new format because people aren't watching our hour-long, hour and a half, 2-hour videos. Not in droves anyway. So we're going to try and keep this down to 10 to 15 minutes. Got a couple of different topics we're going to be covering today during our recording, and the one for this episode. And this might actually span into two. Are my fingers on camera? Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Bear with me. I'm trying to learn something new. It's hard at my age. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, you know. 2, maybe 3 different videos. The topic I came up with for this series, whatever you want to call it, is figuring out what you want your character is character creation in both tabletop RPGs and MMOs, and how game masters do it versus how players do it, and why, as a player, you might want to take a tip or two from this because it's different and it's effective. It's an effective way to make characters. Sound good to you? I can't look.
That's all
Sound good to you, Views?
Sounds good. This is why I had to remove my camera back in front of my screen so I could be looking at you at the same time. It's
I
all
might
good.
have to set up a second screen or something.
Let me know if you need a second screen. I got some spare monitors.
Yeah, I've got some. I just don't know if they work anymore.
Fair enough. All right. But I feel like you asked me something.
Yeah. Does that sound good to you? Going through. I can't do that.
I answered that. But yes. Yes, that sounds fantastic.
All right. So generally, when you're making a character, whether it's for whether it's an online character for like an MMO, or it's for a tabletop role-playing game, you want to make something that's cool and fun that you think that you, the viewer, think is cool and fun. Well, the player in this case, that you want to play. And I'm seeing that a lot right now playing City of Heroes because there's so much just sheer versatility to it. So many options. You can make your character look like not anything, but there's probably more versatility in character creation in City of Heroes than any other MMO I've ever played. Not just in appearance, but actually in the function of how your character plays.
Yep.
And the closest equivalent I can think of is actually tabletop role-playing games where you can make your character literally look like anything you can draw or describe, and you can also, because of how the various tabletop systems work, you can make that character do whatever you want it to do. And most people, when they're making a character, make one they think would be fun and cool to play, which is exactly what they should be doing. Right, Buse?
Exactly.
Is that how you make your characters?
Yep. Sometimes they're not even useful to the rest of the group, but if I have fun with them, I make them. Which I know is going to bring on to a different point later, but you know.
That's fair. So what I'm recommending, what I'm going to tell you is how game masters make characters. And then we're going to take that and put it back, maybe not in this episode, but we're going to put that back into how to make characters as a player to using that whole use-based character thing that Game masters do. So I'm playing the game. You watch me GMing for Buse, who may be over there or may be over there, depending on how these cameras end up, how he sets up the video feed. So you've seen me GM, and I needed to come up with what's his name, Officer McCooperson, Larry McCooperson. So not to give away his stats, but at the time I just needed a couple of stats, and I happen to know a lot of policemen. So I knew he would have a high search or investigate, or at least a professional level of search and investigate. I knew he'd have an above average shooting, but not a great shooting skill. Um, and what else?
At least
That's about
probably
all I've
above.
really. What?
I was thinking probably an above average, possibly professional level of hand to hand brawling.
Yeah, cops are really good fighters. They're actually better at hand-to-hand fighting than they are at shooting, on average. Just something you should know. Or to make it more realistic, cops generally are not very good marksmen. Um, they shoot once a year. Most cops never, and by most cops, I mean over 95% of police officers never pull their gun in the line of duty.
I
But
actually, oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
not to interrupt, but
No, please do.
I I went to school when I was younger with a the I won't say a friend of mine, but somebody in my class. She was the daughter of the local police chief. He had been on the job for 15, 20 years by that point, and he had said he had. Now, granted, not like small town, but suburb style town in New England. We're not talking like Boston or anything like that. We're talking like suburb town in like New England. Out and yeah, never had to pull his firearm on a suspect in all of his years, and that is fairly common. Now, stuff
Over
will change.
95%.
If you're a
At
cop in New
least,
York, it's more likely to be higher. If you're a cop
you
even
mean
in
New
a
York,
city in New York, if you're a cop in a major city in the US, it's going to
especially
skew higher.
Chicago.
But if you're a cop in most cops are in like not incredibly populated areas, like more cops in small towns than there are in cities
Yeah,
in total. I'm not talking about like per capita, I'm just saying. And
per
so
square inch.
most of them they're just picking up the local guy who had a little too much to drink and getting him out of the bar because he doesn't want to leave in the middle at the end of the night and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Responding to people's houses for stuff. But in most cases, you don't have to pull your firearm for those because no one's under threat of severe harm or yeah.
So we had a string of bank robberies near where I live um, last year, and that guy was apprehended without a single shot being fired. Um, he had a gun at the bank, but when the cops actually cornered him, he didn't have his gun with him, so they just took him in. At least from what I read in the newspaper, and I could be misremembering this. So the cops brought him in without having to fire a single shot. They didn't confront him in the bank. They didn't get there in time. Of course, this is leading away from away from our
Yeah.
whole
I was about
tabletop
to
character discussion.
I was about to come up with another. I was about to have another story, and I'm like, wait.
No, no, we could finish this story about
No,
cops,
so,
and
but
I mean
we had
we're 9 minutes in out of a 10 minute section. So
wow. So in my local where I grew up, I don't live there anymore, but it's still I live close by to where I grew up. We had the schools and half the town shut down because a man with a firearm was seen, and then he was seen crossing crossing the high school property. The local school resource officer saw him, locked down half the town, and when they found him, hopefully this doesn't get us demonetized. Oh wait,
we're not monetized yet.
this
What
is
is
pretty
that?
much what he had. It is an airsoft gun. This is what they found on him.
A
He
toy for adults.
he had apparently possibly threatened somebody with it, but it ended up being an airsoft gun. And I can
Ow.
tell you that I have some friends who live in Massachusetts and some people who are not friends, but I've spoken to some cops down there. And a lot of the robberies that have happened, not necessarily using airsoft guns because they're plastic, but a lot of them are happening using pellet guns, BB
Yep.
guns, because there's nothing on it that they have to color or take a plastic piece off or anything like that. And yeah, and the front of a, you know, between .177 caliber and .22 caliber are close enough that at quick glance, if you're robbing a liquor store, no one wants to take that risk. But
Point
anyways,
point 177 caliber is a BB gun, by the way.
yes, I'm sorry.
Um, for
BB and
anyone
pellet.
who's never actually looked at the Daisy Rider in Walmart, um, which you can still buy. At least
Yep,
at my local Walmart, you can get one. Uh, so we're at 11 minutes. Uh, let's get back to this topic in the next episode. Does that sound good to you?
sounds good to me.
I keep looking to see if he's nodding or something at me. I'm not used to this forward camera yet. As a reminder, anybody who knows anybody at the WB who would be able to hear a movie pitch, I'd love to pitch something to you guys for a DC show, a movie actually. Um, just throwing that out there like I do every episode until somebody answers. So there we go. Next episode, we're actually going to get into use-based character creation. Um, yeah.
All
Take
right,
care, all you Blam Blam truckers out there. You want to take us out, Buse?
sounds good. We will see you, truckers.